It's no joke. Holy smokes, there will soon be $12.5 trillion in the cryptocurrency industry. Will BlackRock submit an XRP ETF application at last? As for the court case, if you missed the breaking news last night, the SEC and Ripple filed jointly to withdraw their appeals, and the XRP, the Ripple versus SEC case, is officially over, signed, sealed, and delivered. I don't know about you, but I feel like a small burden has been lifted because, hopefully, after today, I won't have to bring up the Ripple v. SEC case ever again. Although we will discuss it briefly today, I doubt we will bring it up again. Happy days. Then, we'll briefly discuss the price action of XRP, including how it surged before leveling down. We'll discuss why I believe that occurred as well as how, yeah, it was intriguing there. I'll demonstrate. Watch the video. To send out those positive energies, all I need is that you smile at me lovely. Now that the legal matter is over, smishy smashes that like button. Every video should, in my opinion, receive at least 5,000 likes. Now that the court case is not putting any pressure on you, your finger feels a little lighter and more agile. That button should therefore be very simple to smash. I am aware that most of you are using your phones to watch. That explains why I gave the finger or the thumb if correct. Additionally, you can use any device you like, whether it's your computer, TV, or tablet. XRP is now trading at $3.33, up about 0.5% from GMT time. When the news broke, there was a huge rise, and ever then, XRP has been rejected here on the trend line. It appears that there are a lot of whoops. Two elements accounted for a large portion of the movement, or what is happening. I apologize, I was simply listening to a noise. I thought it might be a siren, but it wasn't. The two variables were, I believe, the news that was released and Alice's reaction to it, as well as a small amount of retail and liquidation. In fact, Ethereum saw a lot more shorts liquidated over the course of a day, and XRP came in third place, with 22 million shorts liquidated. Nothing too crazy, then. The news that XRP was dominating was released for an hour, but I don't think there was much short-term pressure from XRP after that. After that first upswing, we experienced another technical hit. This trend line, which is the trend line from the high right here, was stopped right there, which was the rejection area. XRP then slowed down a little bit, which was interesting, because XLM was moving similarly to XRP, and it has been up an additional 5% since GMT time. Thus, it appears that the trend is continuing, and we are currently witnessing a slight reversal in Bitcoin. It appears like Ethereum and the market momentum are both down. Has somewhat slowed down here as we approach Friday. The market has somewhat calmed down, and the excitement surrounding the executive order, which we will discuss in a moment, has somewhat faded. Well, but Friday is freaky again. It's challenging now because of the possibility of manipulation, which is made much more difficult by the expansion of the Bitcoin ETF option chain to $250,000. Thus, that may lead to additional manipulation. On Friday, I call it Freak Friday for a reason, and we need to take that into account. I believe I will watch a movie today with the wife. It's Freak Friday. It feels a lot like Valentine's Day. Do not be concerned. Hold on. In the US, it's not Valentine's Day. Don't act like you didn't purchase a gift. We have a unique feature here during the summer. It's similar to a Lover's Day or something. It's now, then. We're heading out, then. Thus, we'll observe how the market develops. As always, I will never advise you to buy, sell, or hold because I have no idea what the market will do on a daily basis. Alright, not financial advice, of course. Always conduct your own research before making an investment. Suddenly, the president might take action once more. There's a chance that we'll have to cease abruptly. I placed an order for flowers that concluded the Lover's Day. It was the lady who brought the flowers. Anyway, once more, I have no idea what will happen. Let's see. No major economic announcement is scheduled for this Friday. St. Louis gave a Fed speech, but it wasn't very crazy. Next week is CPI week, but there might be more activity on that on Sunday or Monday. It will be fascinating to observe how the cryptocurrency market and stock market respond today, Friday, as it has, I believe, had one rough day. However, The earnings reports for all of these companies are generally extremely positive. 80%, I believe, have been profitable or above expectations. Therefore, despite all of the tariffs and other issues, they are still performing well, which is restoring market confidence because many people were afraid that the companies would suffer, but thus far, we haven't seen that on a significant scale. Therefore, it will be fascinating to watch how today unfolds and what happens to XRP's price behavior. Once more, it was turned down here almost 3 times on the same level. We'll see if the cryptocurrency market has any momentum heading into Friday, or if it has another tumultuous day. Additionally, there are always things like the fact that the market is currently selling off, if only slightly. I take it that funding fees are too blamed, even yet, funding fees are now quite modest. Right. Over the last few weeks, they have experienced a dramatic decline. Funding fees are due in about 8 minutes, I believe. Because they don't want to pay the funding costs, folks will occasionally sell out before they have to. You know, it's a taxable sale. Still, in any case, they do that, and occasionally there is a sell-off prior to certain hours. You know, nuggets, this is more technical day trading. However, if you're long-term or mid-term swinging, it doesn't really matter to you. Again, this isn't financial advice. Always conduct your own research before making an investment. Additionally, keep in mind that I will never message you on social media to ask you to send me money or join up for anything. They are con artists. Be extremely cautious out there, please. The fact that the president signed an executive order granting 90 million American workers access to alternative assets, including cryptocurrency, in response to President Trump's executive order, was somewhat overshadowed by all the news last night. Additionally, they discussed the possibility of 12.5 trillion coming in. People were discussing the XRP ETF, and we'll talk about it in a moment, but in the long run, this might be much more important than just the existence of one ETF because there could be a lot of money flowing into the XRP ecosystem. And if we do have it here, you can see that 401ks and cryptocurrency are far more popular than ETFs. About 100 million Americans use 401ks, which are advertising investment vehicles. They automatically set aside a portion of their paychecks every 2 weeks to buy a variety of stocks and bonds. Direct purchases based on their provided, redefined allocations, no discretion. If at all, the majority of Americans modify these allotments once a year. Over the past 20 years, this has been a major factor in the run of the equity market and Reliance, continuous asset background bid. This amounts to 12 trillion in assets overall, with $50 billion in fresh capital coming in every 2 weeks. Crypto generates new flows of 120 billion at 1% portfolio allocation, correct? And 600 billion, or 5%. Furthermore, these are not one-time flows. After allocations are made, they can